Yes, I am, most certainly. Let me also say a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Freedom 106.5. I always have to slow down when I'm saying that to make sure I say the correct thing.
Oh, don't worry, you said it perfectly. Absolutely perfect.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, again, I'm here to discuss health from a natural and integrated perspective. Of course, the listeners are reminded that it is an interactive forum. So, of course, if you have any questions pertaining to any health issues you may have, products and services of Batson and Associates, feel free to call or comment, message, whatever the case may be. Today's topic, I'm going to touch a bit on the issue of thyroid problems because so many persons now have issues with the thyroid. So we're going to discuss what really is the thyroid, what is the purpose of your thyroid gland, what really causes or what are some of the issues that you can have with your thyroid, and of course what do we at Batson and Associates do from the perspective of integrative medicine, where we're not necessarily just addressing the thyroid per se only, but really addressing that whole aspect that would have caused the thyroid to have been giving problems in the first place. So those are some of the things we're going to discuss. Of course, I'm going to give you our telephone numbers, our location, and where you could actually avail yourself of the products and services of Batson and Associates. So when we're speaking about thyroid health, your thyroid is primarily a gland that is found or encompasses what is known as your endocrine system. So your endocrine system primarily are your glands, which would include your thyroid gland. There's also another gland known as your parathyroid, and then you have your adrenals, pituitary glands, those type of things. And the thyroid gland, like all the other glands in the body, primarily deal with the production of hormones. The thyroid gland specifically deals with TSH, which is an acronym for thyroid stimulating hormone. It also would deal with numbers as it relates to your T3 and your T4. And of course, your thyroid plays some other significant roles. For example, your thyroid gland is the gland that is responsible for giving instructions to your brain as regards to how much calcium is removed from your bones to go into your bloodstream, because your bones are the warehouses for calcium. So your thyroid is a very, very important organ. It plays a significant role in metabolism, energy, weight loss, and a number of things. However, we have found within recent time a number of individuals have been having thyroid problems. So, for example, some persons might be diagnosed with hypothyroidism. The prefix hypo, of course, meaning low. So they have low thyroid function, and some persons suffer from hyperthyroidism, and of course the prefix hyper meaning higher than usual. So your thyroid function is more elevated than it's supposed to. And then, of course, in some cases, you have some persons who may have things like thyroid nodules, which are growths on the thyroid gland themselves. So primarily when you're talking about hyperthyroidism or hypothyroidism, high thyroid or low thyroid function, you find that in the instance of hyperthyroidism or high thyroid function, that individual could have problems with sleeping. So if you have that situation, the possibility exists that it would become very difficult for you to sleep. It becomes very difficult for you to actually maintain a steady weight, because if you have high thyroid function, you find your metabolism is significantly increased. And as a result of that, you could lose a large amount of weight within a very short space of time. And of course, that is going to be very concerning. It also significantly can affect cognitive function, memory, energy level, those type of things. And then, of course, if you have low thyroid function, you have the reverse, where you could actually put on excessive amounts of weight. You find it very lethargic, you lack energy. You can also have problems with sleep as well. In both instances, is something that no one wants to have, because, of course, we know the purpose of the human body is really to maintain homeostasis or balance, equilibrium. And if, of course, you're out of balance, well, then, especially in the aspect of the thyroid, you can have these specific issues. Now, some persons might be asking the questions, why is it that we're having problems with our thyroid? The thing is, some years ago, like about 25, 30, maybe 35, 50 years ago, you would have found that the reports of thyroid problem would have been more prevalent among women as opposed to men. That has, however, changed within the past 50 35 years. And we're realizing now that thyroid problems are not only as a result of iodine deficiency. Iodine is a mineral that we're supposed to have in very small amounts in the body, and they have proven that when you are deficient in iodine, you tend to have some problems, or it can contribute to thyroid issues. However, one of the things they're also realizing now is that stress plays a significant role in thyroid problems, hence the reason why more men are having problems with hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, like their female counterparts. Now, so of course, a lot of persons, tend to want to know, well, okay, what do I do in this particular situation? So usually in Western medicine, you'll be given some sort of medication. Usually it would be things like thyroxine, cobimazole, and those type of things, which is the specific type medication to try to bring some balance to the thyroid. Of course, anyone who has those issues, you're looking for long-term results. And of course, as I mentioned, as it relates to integrated medicine, you're really looking to deal with the root cause of the problem. So the first question might be, well, what could really cause a thyroid issue? So as I mentioned before, stress, issues with iodine deficiency. But interestingly, gastrointestinal problems plays a significant role. I mean, some weeks ago, I was mentioning on the program, when you have issues with what is known as leaky gut, which is a situation where the hole in your intestines are much larger than they're supposed to, and pathogens, which are either bacteria, virus, fungus, would leave the intestines, burrow through, get into the small intestines, because the most amount of digestion in the human body really takes place fundamentally in the small intestines, and from there it goes to the bloodstream, and in the bloodstream it goes to all the cells and whatnot. So if you have a leaky gut situation and you have a compromised gastrointestinal system, which could be digestion, assimilation of food, which a lot of people have and they're not aware, that can also contribute to a problem with your thyroid. So again, the next question would be, how do we at Batson and Associates can really determine or assist someone with a thyroid issue? And of course, the answer is yes, we can help you. There's a particular test that we do which is known as a Mra scan. And MRA is an acronym for magnetic resonance analysis. Persons would be quite familiar with MRIs, which are magnetic resonance imaging. So the technology is primarily the same. The thing is, all the cells in the body give off a different frequency. So how magnetic resonance operates is that it goes into the body, and this magnet would be able to pick up frequencies, and based on the frequencies, they would actually be able to give you a report. And that is known as a magnetic resonance analysis. And that is one of the things that we do at Batson and Associates. And we'll be able to look at the entire endocrine system. So not only your thyroid, but also your parathyroid. And interestingly, your pituitary gland, which is actually a master gland. Because your endocrine system actually has a master gland, which controls or has a significant influence on the others, which including the thyroid, parathyroid. And that gland is actually the pituitary gland. So that's one of the things that we do. And of course, when we determine where the imbalance lies, what is the condition of the gastrointestinal system, then we are now able to make necessary recommendations via a protocol to give you to say, well, okay, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, this is what you're not doing, this is what you're not drinking. And then from there, we'll be able to redo the tests and, of course, look at the improvements that you would have gotten. And, of course, based on the other tests that we would have also asked you to do, which would be like T3, T4, TSH, that type of thing. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit those telephone numbers. Let me give you quickly. You can give us a call on our Shogunas number, and that number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And for the St. James office, that number is 220-8113. Again, that's 220-8113. And you can call any one of those numbers for any information, the testing services that I just mentioned there at Batson and Associates. So over to you, Samantha. I don't know if we have any questions as yet.
We would like to encourage you to give Dr. Batson a call. You are listening to Dr. Jason Batson, Senior Medical Consultant at Batson and Associates. Our number to call right now, if you have a medical question for him, would be 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. You can also feel free to send your medical question via WhatsApp to 306-1065, 306-1065. And Batson and Associates started its operations in September of 2009. It is an organization of Trinidad health consultants and practitioners in Ayurvedic, Chinese, holistic, natural, and nutritional medicine. Dr. Batson.
Yes. So we're also live on our Facebook feed and Instagram. Keep in mind, on Facebook, we are live at Batson and Associates Limited, and on Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. One of the questions Ms. Cindy Fagan is asking is that if it is you have an issue with burning in your feet, what could that be? Okay. And interestingly, I got a question this morning. The thing is, usually when you have burning, or what the elderly persons would term junjuni, pins and needles, cramping in your calves, that's usually an indication of some sort of neuropathy situation. Now, the thing is, neuropathy is, you can have, there's something known as diabetic neuropathy, which is basically nerve damage as a result of diabetes, but you can also have neuropathy and not be a diabetic. And what that means is that the nerves are beginning to experience some problems, dying off, that type of thing, as a result of poor circulation. Now, we know how important circulation is to the entire body. You have two types of circulation primarily, which is systemic circulation, pulmonary circulation, sorry, above your heart, and systemic circulation below your heart. So sometimes some persons may not have proper systemic circulation, and you may have a situation where you're getting pins and needles burning under your feet. And it's just a matter of correcting that particular circulation. In terms of the products that we offer at Batson and Associates, we carry numerous products for circulation. There's actually a tea that we carry, which is like to be used as a simple cup of tea. You normally steep 2 tea bags for like about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And ideally, you should consume it, no milk, no sugar. And usually that could be used like about 2 to 3 times. And one of the core aspects of the tea is really to improve something known as microcirculation, which is circulation in the extremities. So that's something that you could pay attention to. We also have an additional question where someone is asking, if it is you're a diabetic, what should your blood sugar read? Okay. The thing is, you would normally hear persons say that your fasting blood sugar should read 90. The thing is, it depends on your age, in all honesty. So let's say we're looking at someone who is, let's say, about 50, 55, 60 years. I mean, for you to get a blood sugar, fasting blood sugar of 90, it means you would have to be very disciplined and a very active individual where you're doing, your exercise, whether it's running, brisk walking, you're doing some resistance training in the gym, that type of thing. And your diet is going to have to be pretty optimal as well to be getting a 90 fasting blood sugar at the age of 50, 55. Now, if it is you're getting like 100, 110, we can live with that. It's when you start to pass those numbers, and of course, there are people who in the realm of 200 plus and 300, 400, well, things really, really bad with you in that particular situation. But anywhere in the vicinity about 90 to about 110 we can live with. There's something known as a HbA1c, or what is referred to as a A1c. And that's a test that you would normally do in a lab. And the A1C would give you an average of your blood sugar over 3 months, so over 90 days. A1C would go in the vicinity of, ideal figures would be like all 5.5, 6, 6.5 we could live with. 6.8 is usually just before diabetes. When you start to pass 6.8 and you're going up to about 7, then you're in what we call early diabetic stage. So it's always very good to have an A1C of like about 6. And that's something that we can help you accomplish at Batson and Associates, because it simply means that we need to look at not only your blood sugar readings, but how your food digests, or how your digestion is taking place. Because a lot of the times, diabetic numbers and elevated blood sugar is closely linked to one's ability to digest or assimilate food properly. So that's something that you could pay attention to. That question was asked by Ms. Marge Hills, and that is on our Facebook page. And again, you can contact any of our telephone numbers. Those telephone numbers, again, quickly, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Our Debe office is 223-7515. That office is located on the corner of Ramsey Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. The clinic for St. James is the Montrose Main Road, Chagonas. That's first floor of Money Talks building. And St. James is the Western Main Road in St. James. That is Red Edge Mall. And that number is 220-8113. Keep in mind, you could call any one of those numbers as regards to our road delivery. And you can have your road delivery organized as well. And the 314-9975, again, that number is 314-9975. That's WhatsApp. So in case your question maybe is a detailed question or you want to send some information for us, then you can send it on that number, 314-9975. And of course, Tobago as well, that is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago, and that number is 226-4553. Again, we are Batson & Associates Limited on Facebook. On Instagram, we are Batson & Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson & Associates Trinidad. And of course, you could always like and share us there, and you could actually have access to a lot of the information, a lot of testimonies, a lot of questions and answers that persons would have posed us, and even some of the previous lives that I would have done. So, of course, you have access to a lot of information there. That's Batson & Associates Limited. On Facebook, on Instagram, we are Batson & Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson & Associates Trinidad.
And you're reminded that you can send your medical questions right now for them to be answered by Dr. Batson of Batson and Associates. You can send your medical question to our WhatsApp number. That would be 306-1065, 306-1065. Or you can use our hotline number 627-3223, 627-3223, or 625-2257, 625-2257. Dr. Jason Batson is the Managing Director of Batson and Associates Limited, and he has over 12 years of experience in the health and wellness industry and an avid health enthusiast. Dr. Batson has hands-on experience in fitness and weight training, as well as nutrition. Dr. Batson.
Yes. One of the questions that was posed here, someone, well, first of all, let me say good afternoon to Miss Paula Rupchan, Miss Annie Grant, Miss Heather Singh. These are all persons on the Facebook currently. And one of the questions that was asked is a question about eyes. So they're asking you a question about glaucoma. What is a good pressure that you should have in your eye? So the thing is, when you're looking at ocular pressure, there's something known as glaucoma, and the glaucoma is high ocular pressure in the eyes. Now, there's also, well, there's two types of glaucoma. There's open-angled and closed-angled glaucoma. And usually, excellent reading in the eyes, if you get a pressure in your eyes, like anywhere in the vicinity of maybe about 12 to 15, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, or 16, those numbers are good in the right and the left. When you start to go above 16 and you're nearing 20, that's when it starts to get problematic. So that's the answer to your question there. One of the things that we carry at Batson & Associates, because we do have a natural eye clinic where we actually tend to a lot of persons who have things like glaucoma, cataract, detached retina. There's an eye drop that we carry called Eye Optics Formula. And the Eye Optics Formula is primarily Ayurvedic preparation. So it doesn't have any steroids in the eye drop. And one of the things that it does is that it removes metabolic waste from the eyes. Now, very quickly, a lot of persons do not know that waste enter the body via your eyes, especially if you're involved in work or jobs where you deal with a lot of chemicals. So, for example, people who may be cleaners or who do even house, people who just clean their houses regularly. You know, there are some ladies who do an excellent job cleaning, but sometimes you just put some things there when you walk in the house, you know the house was clean because the whole house smelling nice. You know, sometimes you might use maybe a little too much. But in any case, exposure to those basic chemicals, even things like dishwashing soap and dish powders and those type of things could actually get into your system via your eyes. And then if you work in specific type industries, like you work in oil and gas, you maybe do welding, you do things like auto body works, you spray, in terms of agriculture, so things like Gramaxone and Paraquat and all those type of things. You usually find people like that tend to have problems with their eyes. So one of the things that the Eye Optics Formula does is actually remove metabolic waste from the eyes and helps to remove waste in general from the eyes, because that in itself is one of the contributory factors to glaucoma. So that was one of the things as well. And the other question that we had, someone was asking about cataracts. What causes cataracts? And cataracts are primarily mineral buildup on the lens of your eyes. So it's basically the lens itself, and then what you would have is like a buildup which would cause an opaqueness, where you would see the vision is slightly impaired. But of course, you have different types of cataracts. Cataracts in their early stages are usually very small, and something you go to the ophthalmologist and they might say, well, okay, the cataract is very small, so we wouldn't really do anything about it. But what would you do? I mean, you wouldn't wait until the cataract get big or get larger. Your objective would be to deal with it one time. And then, of course, you have mature cataracts, which are usually a little more difficult to deal with, and those are the ones that you usually recommended to do lens replacement. Now, that same eye optics formula that we carry, one of the things that it actually does is actually dissolve cataracts, because a lot of persons are not aware that cataracts are made up of material or minerals that are able to be dissolved over a period of time, because cataracts are primarily things like calcium, magnesium. You have some fibrin in there that would have this or cause this situation to be on the lens of the eye itself. And that's one of the things that the eye optics formula actually does as well. Now, we do carry 2 other additional eye drops, but it depends on what the eye issue is. So if it is someone may have what is known as macular degeneration, which is the degeneration of the macula. You have age-related macular degeneration, which is basically macular degeneration based on age. Then you also have something known as retinopathy, which is bleeding behind the eyes. And you usually find that is quite common among persons who have diabetes, because one of the conditions is also known as diabetic retinopathy. And that is, of course, because diabetes significantly interferes with circulation in the brain, and primarily peripheral circulation in the extremities. You find it's very easy for someone who is diabetic to have problems with their eyes. And yes, we do carry a range of products that can actually help that situation. Dietary considerations need to be taken into consideration as well when you're dealing with situation with your eyes, because it's very important that your diet is one that is less inflammatory. So less sugars in the diet, less saturated fat, less processed foods, in order to bring about that antioxidant healing and that antioxidant that the body is going to need, especially the eyes, in order to bring about that particular type of correction. So I hope I was actually able to answer your question there, Cindy. So you can feel free to give us a call or visit. Those telephone numbers again are 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 223-7515. 223-7515. We have any questions, Samantha, on that side?
Yes, we do have a WhatsApp that reads, Dr. Batson, do you have a weight loss program? And if you do, does it only involve dieting?
Oh, okay. That's a very good question. Yes, we do have a weight loss program. Does it only include dieting? I would say not only. Well, you have to pay close consideration to what you consume, obviously. So let me answer it this way. There are a lot of persons who want to lose weight, but they're not too responsible in the way they want to lose weight. I am not an advocate of fad diets and all these crash diets and that type of thing. The program that we have is one that is quite calculated per individual, and it actually involves the use of specific supplementation and that type of thing to bring about the long-term change that you want. So yes, it does include dieting. It doesn't only include dieting. I am of course, a huge advocate of exercise. So I always tell persons that you should have some sort of exercise program somewhere involved in there. It doesn't have to be anything major, but just maybe brisk walking. If you are someone who may be immobile, or you may have, for example, arthritis, and as a result of that, you want to lose weight, to take less pressure off the knees and that type of thing, so you're not as mobile as you would like. We also have programs that we can design around that. I could do a program for anyone. But the thing is, what I want persons to be mindful of is we're not in the shortcut diets and the fat diets. Those things put you in a lot of problems. So the answer is yes, with diet, but there are also other considerations to be taken. Okay?
And we do have another WhatsApp question that reads, Doctor, in the last few months, I have noticed I have been sweating a lot, especially in the palms of my hands. Do you know what could be the cause?
Well, the thing is, usually there are some people who would tell you that they're usually very nervous because they sweat in the palm of their hands, sole of their feet. That is actually a central nervous system issue that could be corrected. That's actually an autonomic nervous system, which is a sympathetic, parasympathetic. So in most cases, that person is they're a bit too parasympathetic. So it's a matter of just making some adjustments. You usually find that is also very closely linked to some level of anxiety or a central nervous system issue, which again could just be adjusted. So definitely, as I said, it could be central nervous system, autonomic nervous system, and definitely there are some things that you could do to correct that, and it doesn't happen. There are some people who are they customarily sweat in the palm of their hands and even the sole of their feet, and they consider it to be something. Well, they know I inherited something or some kind of thing like that. But it is actually a central nervous system issue, and it can be corrected.
We have another one that reads, Dr. Batson, what do you recommend for PCOS?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome. Polycystic ovaries has to be dealt with in its entirety, and it's from its base. So when I say from its base and in its entirety, I'm speaking about from where the problem actually started to go wrong. So a female who has polycystic ovarian syndrome has hormonal imbalance. So we're talking about things like estrogen, progesterone, gonadotropin, those type of things. But before the hormonal imbalance, she would have had to have an endocrine problem. An endocrine system, as I discussed before, is the system where your glands are concerned. So thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary. So that is primarily where the issue arose. It also has a lot to do with gastrointestinal. All women that I have seen with problems with polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, adenomyosis, infertility, all those issues are usually closely linked to gastrointestinal problems, because you usually find a lot of women who may have problems with constipation or gastrointestinal problems, acid reflux, that type of thing. Usually later on they end up with polycystic ovarian syndrome, fibroids, that type of thing. And there are treatment protocols that we offer for that as well. But again, you have to deal with the root cause of the problem. So it's not necessarily simply where you would be given birth control, which basically tries to just pound your ovaries into submission, which in my opinion is not really, it really doesn't work long term, because that's what you're looking at. You're looking at long term. And of course, some dietary factors has to be taken into consideration as well. But it's primarily a gastrointestinal endocrine situation, which caused a hormonal imbalance situation, which in turn caused the polycystic ovaries. Okay.
A follow-up to that question from that person who sent the WhatsApp asking about the PCOS. They're saying that they're trying to have a baby, if it will still be possible.
Yeah, of course. You can. The thing is, you can. Okay, how to answer this way. Okay, you can successfully become pregnant with polycystic ovaries, because there are a lot of persons who have done it. And you can actually carry to term. However, most of the time that is not the case. It's just like with fibroids as well. Women can become pregnant with fibroids, but the problem with fibroids, a lot of them do not carry to term, depending on the size and the location of the fibroid. So if that individual is looking at having, at conceiving, you would want to ensure that you have everything above board and you get yourself in proper order before you conceive, because you run the risk of not carrying to term, which of course is more devastating than actually losing a living child or just as bad. So definitely that is something that you would want to take into consideration. So the situation could be addressed to the point of actually having you conceive to term. However, you have to, as the people say, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's. That's very, very important. So again, they could feel free to give us a call at any one of the numbers, and we could always go from there.
A reminder that if you would like to be calling Dr. Batson, I believe he'll be with us for next week, Thursday as well. Yes. You can use the hotline number 627-3223, 627-3223, and it's 625-2257, 625-2257. I would like to say thank you to the people who sent in those WhatsApp questions to Dr. Batson. Dr. Batson?
Definitely, definitely. So, and I hope next week, well, as time goes by, we're going to get some more questions. I realize people, they're now getting accustomed to me again. So those telephone numbers, again, you can give us a call on 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 223-7515. As we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Samantha, thank you very much. Always a pleasure, and a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of Freedom 106.5 FM. Till next week, please, God.
Thank you so much, Dr. Batson. And that was our special health segment featuring Dr. Jason Batson of Batson and Associates. You can visit them on the first floor Money Talks building, 182 Southern Main Road, Montrose. You can call them at 222-8261 or WhatsApp them at 314-9975, 314-9975. Keep listening. We're talking health every Thursday.
Yes, Facebook family. So that was a very interesting program. To look forward to speaking to you guys on Sunday, please, God. Yes, Sunday. Yes, where I will not I will not set you up. And we should have a 2-hour program, God's willing, on Sunday. I do owe you all a Sunday evening program, but I do not want to put my foot in my mouth and say for this Sunday, but I'm going to try my utmost. Okay? So remember, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Shakil, do you want to tell me something?
Is it possible to answer one question?
Of course, yes, we could answer a question. Shakil is asking for me to answer a question. Oh, can you help burning tongue? Miss Cindy Fagan. Burning tongue. We should be able to. I mean, you'll have to give me some more explanation. Maybe you need to change your toothpaste. I don't know what toothpaste you use. I don't know where you're located. I don't know if you're in Trinidad or if you're overseas. And I'm going to address Josie Smith's statement. Josie's sending some information there that has me concerned. I need to speak to someone in Chaguanas. Right, Josie? So I will address that situation for you. So Cindy, what I should suggest, maybe you look at changing your toothpaste. Or I don't know if you changed your toothpaste recently, but give me some more information on that now, Cindy. Maybe if you come on Sunday, please God, and you give me some more information, and I'll be better able to answer your question when you do that for me. Okay? So people are saying a lot of hearts and thank yous. You guys very welcome. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to the hardworking blood microscopists and consultants of Batson and Associates, Ms. Karishma Ramdan, Mr. Rene Bustamante, and Mr. Paul Green. A pleasant good afternoon to you guys. Keep up the good work. And of course, the other hardworking customer service staff who answer the phone on a regular and very quick and efficient basis. A pleasant good afternoon to you guys. All right, so Facebook, till Sunday, please God. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.